Guten Morgen from Phantasialand. I keep calling it Phantasialand, but I believe I'm wrong and it's Phantasialand. In this video, I'm going to share a whole pile of hints and tips for your next visit to make sure that it is a good one. But before I do that, I'm going to go on Mouse au Chocolat. So when I get off of that, I'll give you the first tip. Right, I've shot some mice. So first tip is make sure you book your tickets in advance, because you cannot just turn up and buy tickets on the day. So I know always you want to buy them online because they're usually cheaper, but you have no choice here because that is the only way you're going to get some. So make sure you do that. I'm trying to find my way around. We're going to go and do a VR coaster now. Give you another tip after that one. The next tip if you're travelling from the UK is obviously how to get here. I mean, you could drive if the Channel Tunnel's easy to get to. I flew. Now, normally you would fly into Cologne and then, you know, you can use public transport, a taxi, or drive from there. For me, the flights from Edinburgh weren't particularly great time-wise, so I flew into Dusseldorf instead, hired a car. It was just over an hour's drive, so, you know, I mean, for me, that's comparable to flying into Glasgow instead of Edinburgh. They're about an hour apart. So that's one way you can do it. As I say, if you're flying, probably Cologne, but Dusseldorf is easily doable. Probably not by public transport though, at least not a taxi, that would cost a fortune. We hired a car, we're here for 3 days, and I think the car hire cost 30 euros a day, 20 euros a day, something like that. So not too bad, but that's how we get here. So I know some people are a huge fan of FastPass and other people not so much. This park does do FastPass. A bit like I said with the tickets though, you can only buy them here in person. I think the booth's in Berlin. I'm not using it today. FastPass gets you on a number of the rides, but the one that it will not get you on is f.l.y. For Fast Track for f.l.y, you have to stay in the Hotel Charles Lindbergh, and we'll cover hotels shortly. So with that you get one Fast Pass per person per day, but that is the only way to Fast Pass f.l.y. And I have heard people saying that, you know, Fast Pass is limited, what you would expect. So, you know, if you're going to pick it up in the morning, because by the afternoon there might not be any left. Food's obviously something that you need when you're in a park, and this park has a ridiculous selection. In fact, probably some of the best theme park food I've ever had. From pizzas to burgers to churros and sweet things and all sorts. I did notice in the queue for Winges, the family in front of me had a packed lunch with them. And they don't check your bag, so, you know, you can save some cash, bring your own food, but you're not going to be short of options here, and it is all very good quality food. Probably the best theme park food I've ever had. So you definitely want to try it. As a standard with most parks nowadays, they have an app that you probably want to install. It does have a map on it, which will show you around. It has the wait times, which is important, but what's even more important is that this park closes different rides at different times. So it's not like in the UK and some parts in Europe where everything closes at park close. For example, tonight it's open till 8. Some of the rides shut at 4, some of them shut at 4:45, some of them shut at 8, and the app tells you that. So definitely worth installing the app and checking that, because it'll help you understand what rides to get on first, so that it doesn't get to the end of the day and you're disappointed that you've missed your favourite attraction, or your potentially favourite attraction. Right, next thing is that they do have on-ride photography on a handful of rides. Not a huge selection, and I haven't bought any photos today, but the last time I was here they only took cash, which caught me off guard because I don't have any euros on me, I'm contactless. So they may have upgraded that, I kind of hope they have. But I'm going to go and do Talican and give you the next tip when I get off it. Now, an obvious question when you go to any park is how long do you need? And I would, depending on if you're here on a quiet day or not, I'd recommend 2 days. We're here Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Although last night we only had a couple hours. Tomorrow I've only got a couple hours. Today's a full day. It's quite busy. Some things are 5-10 minutes, other things are 60-70 minutes. So you'd probably be struggling to do it a day. Maybe if you had Fast Pass, but I don't think Fast Pass runs on every attraction, as I said earlier. So I would strongly recommend 2 days. It's a beautiful park anyway. You're going to want to take your time and enjoy it. So if you can, plan a weekend, or during the week would be even better because, you know, it'll be quieter. Right, if you do have lots of stuff and you don't want to carry it around with you, they do have a couple of sets of lockers. This set that I'm in right now is near Geisterreich, the ghost train, back of Colorado Express, I think. And there is another one as well. They are on a map. I don't know what the cost is. I can't find the cost, but there are lockers if you need them. Apparently, you get a wristband at the shop next to Colorado Express. So there's a little tip for you. The second set of lockers, which these ones here, they're right at the end of Berlin where the big carousel is. So one at either end, you're putting your stuff in a locker. Right, another one is single rider. They only have it on 2 rides, and they're both here in Klugheim, and that is Taron and Rake. So, as the name suggests, if you're on your own, or you don't mind being split up, single rider, and basically you fill any gaps in the train. But do not go in there as a group and then think, there was a party of 4, because they'll split you up. But yes, as I say, single rider here and on Taron. Not on anything else as far as I'm aware, which is kind of annoying. Right, a little addendum to the single rider. We've just done single rider on Taron. There's a sign at the start that I didn't read, but I saw at the end, that warns you that single rider may take longer than the normal queue. When we went in it, the normal queue was 70 minutes. Single rider took us 70 minutes. So just bear that in mind. And the one thing I would rather have been in the normal queue, because the normal queue moves. Single rider doesn't. So yeah, your mileage may vary, but bear that in mind when you take single rider. I've got a couple of tips for you. I've got 3 tips. I don't know why I put 4 fingers up. I've got a few tips for you if you've got little kids with you. So the first one is, if you've got little kids and you're worried that they're going to get lost, you can go to guest services and get a wristband and write your details on, so that if they are lost, staff will be able to get in touch with you. The second thing is, if they can't ride everything, again, you go to guest services, they will measure their height and give them a band that says what height they are, so they don't get measured on every single ride. And then the third thing is, they do offer the baby switch, parent switch thing, where if it's a ride you want to go on and your kid can't, then one parent goes in the queue, and then when they come off, they switch, and the other parent goes through, and they don't have to stand in the queue. So, lots of things if you're coming here with little children. Now, if you need to leave the park at any point, to go out and get something from your car or whatever, and that is totally fine. They will stamp your hand at the gate so that you can get back in again. But yeah, you can leave. I mean, I would say you could leave and get some food, but there's not really much nearby. But yeah, you are allowed out, and they will let you back in. So if you need to do that, that's what they do. Right, a little tip for you for Mystery Castle. If you don't know what Mystery Castle is, because, well, it's a mystery, it's basically a drop tower. Actually, there's 6 drop towers in there, although they were only running 3 of them. But anyway, the tip is there's 2 different cycles. A short cycle and a long cycle. And from what I'm led to believe, after about 2 o'clock in the afternoon is when the good cycle comes on. So if you've got time, do it in the morning, do it in the afternoon. If not, do it at the end of the day, and you will get the better of the 2 cycles. Another thing in this park is be prepared for a lot of walking. Even if the queues are quiet, all of the queue lines are long. The queue line for f.l.y, even when it's empty, takes you at least 5 minutes to walk through. Same with Taron, etc. So you will be doing a lot of walking. Wear good shoes. I didn't. I came today in trainers, which would have been fine, but then I went on Chapas and I got wet feet. If you've ever done Valhalla, same thing, you're standing in a puddle. So I've currently stolen my partner's boots because she's in the hotel, and when I took my shoes off, my toes were purple. So don't do what I did, wear appropriate shoes and you'll be fine. Right, I'm in Rootburg now, so I'm going to go and enjoy all the sights and sounds. Now, another thing you need to consider when you are visiting this park, especially if it is not a day trip for you, is accommodation. Now, the park has you covered. They have 3 on-site accommodations. In fact, I'm in one of them right now. I'm currently inside the Charles Lindbergh Hotel. Now, these are kind of a little bit smaller. They are little cabins, 2 single beds, your own bathroom, and that is about it. But there are some unique things about this one. You basically are literally in the park. Fly goes around here. If I open that door and look outside, I mean, it's freezing cold, so I'm not gonna, but if I did, there is roller coaster track right outside. You get early access into the park, you get fast pass to Fly, and that is the only way you can get fast pass to Fly. This one comes with 3-course meal every night. This comes with breakfast, etc. There's loads of parks. In fact, I have a video specifically around this, so check that one out if you are thinking on doing Hotel Charles Lindbergh. But there are 2 other hotels as well. There is the Hotel Lingbao, which is Chinese themed. I've stayed in that one previously with my kids. Fantastic hotel, so immersive, and again, on site. It's not in the park, but it's literally, you walk out of the hotel, there's a gate, and you're into the park. You've got your own kind of dedicated access, which is fantastic. And they do have, obviously, restaurants on there. I think it included breakfast, and we paid for dinner. It was a buffet style Chinese, or Asian at least, because it was more than just Chinese. And then the other one is Hotel Matamba, which is African themed, over by Black Mamba, funnily enough. Again, dedicated access straight into the park. I haven't stayed in that one myself, but it also has a restaurant in there for a buffet, because I have used that in the past. So in terms of accommodation, they got you covered. There obviously are cheaper alternatives, but you know, the advantages of staying on site, you can literally halfway through the day, multiple times, just go out and go to your room, get changed, go have a rest, etc. You're not leaving the park. It's not like a Disney where you've got 10, 15, 20 minutes to get from the hotel to your park and back again. You're literally, I mean, the 2 that I'm not in right now are on the gates, like they are literally at the edge of the park, and this one is inside Rootburg with the coaster going around it. So, I mean, you can't get more on site than these hotels. And the other thing that I haven't mentioned is parking. If you are bringing a car, it is, at the time of recording at least, €7 per day. But if you are staying on site, then that is included. So if you are bringing a car and you're not staying on site, you will need to pay. But I do have another tip for you. This isn't specific to this park or even this hotel, but if you are travelling, I used to always carry loads and loads of plug converters to UK plugs. But now, instead, I bring one adapter down here and then bring a multi-way, so that I can plug all my stuff in. Much more convenient. I got another generic tip for you, and if you travel a lot, you'll know this anyway. On some occasions in the park, when you're paying for something with contactless, you'll get asked what currency to pay in. Well, at least you will if your normal currency is not euros. If that is the case, always pay in the local currency, so in this case euros, because if you pay in your currency, so for me pounds, you will get a pretty bad exchange rate, because they kind of guess it and then they'll just charge you more. You will obviously get an exchange rate by the bank, but typically you're better off if you pay in euros and let the bank take care of that later on. So when you're asked, always pick the local currency. If you have enjoyed these tips, please hit that like button and do consider subscribing. I do this for various theme parks around the world. If you have visited Phantasialand yourself and you have other tips, please put them in the comments for other people. I've been Chris, you've been watching Coaster Dad, and I shall see you in the next one. Adios!